What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Belgian Beer and Beats. And in today's episode, we are going to pair some craft beers with some craft beats. So welcome to episode 15. What we are going to talk about today, I have a selection of Belgian craft beers. And of course, you know, the craft beer community is huge in the US and throughout the world. But in Belgium, it's very special because there's maybe about 200 to 300 craft independent breweries there, including the famous Cantillon Brewery, which I have been to before. So on my right-hand side, you see some fine Belgian craft beers. This is the lightest going to the strongest. And then we're going to open up this one right here, which is a collabo between Mikkeller and Boon Brewery. So this one is very special. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But first, you have, these are not items that you'll find in the States. I was lucky enough to find this one at my local Total Wine, but some of these were gifted to me by the homie in Taiwan, B-Man. So salute, shout out to B-Man right there for gifting me these. This one here is in a can. I'm not a big can guy, but this is Kerel Paradise Ale from Verbeek Bak de Kak. I'm just reading what it says on the can. This is an independent Belgian family brewery born in the 19th century and reborn in 2015. Kerel is ale by and for independent drinkers. So this one I saw at the Total Wine, so you can find that one. And next up we have the Julia Blonde, and this is a 5.7% blonde Belgian ale. So there you go right there. And next to that we have the Ouwen Düiker by the Brouwerij Hedonist. This is pretty funny because this is actually an American pale ale. So this one is a Belgian independent craft beer making an American pale ale. So I'm very curious to try that one out. This one is 7%. And this next one is the strongest Dulle Teve, which is a triple coming in at 10%. So I tried this one. It is very good and surprisingly sweet. But we are not here to drink these. We are here to talk about this Mikkeller Fredriksdal Oude Kriek. It's a collaboration between Brouwerij Boon and Mikkeller. So Brouwerij Boon is a Belgian brewery that has been around since 1979 and started making it public around 1990. So they specialize in lambic beers. So this is a lambic. Now when you talk about lambics, you're talking about something unlike any other beers, as there is no yeast added to the product. And it's also from the region of LAMBIC in Belgium in the South Flanders region. Of course, it's very strong, very sour, and it is an acquired taste. So when you're talking about lambics, basically you're talking about beer that is unfermented, and it is from the Zen River Valley. So lambics use aged hops, helping them to preserve the beer and remove the bitterness, and they age it 1 to 3 years in barrels. This is a special process to make these type of beers. It is a spontaneous fermentation. I am not a brewer, but if you're a brewer, you can look it up and you can see what I'm talking about. But basically, a lot of these are left in open barrels instead of closed, and usually that is how they get that special flavor. Imagine this like when you dry your clothes. Sometimes you put them in the dryer and you let it dry. It smells really good. Now this lambics, imagine when you hang your clothes out to dry in the backyard and they kind of have that smell of the outdoors. So that is more how this is brewed, in the outdoors, in the open. So this particular one here, this is a 6% ABV. It is very tart, very cherry, and it is a Belgian lambic with Danish cherries. So Mikkeller is an amazing brewery that was founded in 2006 with Mick and Keller. The two founders put the names together. You get Mikkeller, and they've been killing it. And they started out in Copenhagen, Denmark. So this is the first beer on the show that is not 100% Belgian. So salute to Mikkeller and congratulations for being the first non-Belgian beer on the show. So when Mikkeller first came out, the two founders, one of them was a teacher, and he just did home brewing in his kitchen. and on the weekends. But I guess eventually he started going to, events and, giving it to friends, and the word spread like wildfire. They loved his beers. He started collaborating with different companies in Denmark, and then it just became a thing. And now Mikkeller is huge, and they have locations throughout Asia, throughout Europe, London, everywhere, man. Even saw them with a brewery. I don't know if it's a brewery or just a shop, but in Taipei, if you're out there, you can check out the Mikkeller offerings. So Boon Brewery, on the other hand, was founded in 1978, and they started production in 1990 in the current location. What we're going to do right now, we're going to pop this cork and show you how it pours up. But I think a lot of you came to see these craft singles. These are the craft singles series by the Alchemist, which I feel pairs perfectly with this craft beer. By the way, let me take a moment to shout out my guy Jason of the Unbeaten Path Brewery. He's a home brewer out there in Chicago. I just want to say what's up to him. I was going to stop doing these videos, but he kind of inspired me to keep going. He liked what I was doing, and I want to say thank you to him. Also, thank you to my guy out in Germany, Chip Force, and anybody else that tunes into these videos, man. It means a lot to me. So with that being said, proper glassware is a must, and this is a glass from the Lindemans company. And of course, I got that coaster. There it is. So we're going to pour it into this Lindemans glass, because Lindemans, when it comes to lambics, Lindemans is one of the finest. So if you want, you can go check out Lindemans. I highly recommend that beer right there. But right now, we are going to try this Fredriksdal Oude Kriek. And Kriek in Flemish means cherries. So this is going to be a very tart, cherry flavored beer coming in at 6.5% volume. So let's go ahead and try this out. Now this is a special bottle because you have the cork on there, and I really love the cork top. You can age these, very special, and to see it in a smaller version is really cool. So let's go ahead and open that up. So I love the cherry smell right off the bat, and now you're talking about the Danish cherries. So that's really cool, man. And that is where you're going to get the collabo. So the cherries are from Danish cherries, but the lambic, of course, is from the Boon lambic. So let's go ahead and pour this up and see how it tastes. So you see the color right there. I'm holding the glass far from my nose, and it's a very pungent, sour, I wouldn't say pungent, it's very strong smell. The cherry smell in this is amazing. If you've watched any of my previous episodes, I poured up Castile Rogue, and that one is Castile Red. It's an amazing cherry flavored beer, but it is not a lambic. So lambics are going to be more sour. So let me go ahead and try this real quick, and I'll let you know what it's hitting for. Wow. Okay, so that's extremely tart. It's sour, but it's not too sour where it kind of makes you do that. It's got kind of a perfect sour balance. And once again, these lambics are an acquired taste. So this is more for the advanced palate. You're not just going to be a newcomer to the beer game and enjoy these. These are something that are very special and different than anything that you've tried before. Yeah, that's excellent. That's really good. It's hard to explain what a lambic is. I explained it earlier, but it's almost like a champagne mixed with a beer, and a little wine too. You can see how dark that is. But imagine this is probably 70%, I would believe 60 to 70% fresh cherries. This is not a cherry flavoring. And then you mix the 30 to 40% lambic, and you get an amazing, awesome beer. There's a lot of craft brewers out there, and I just want to salute y'all, because craft brewing to me is kind of like making a beat. It's an art form. It's something that we do for fun, for the love. We're not trying to blow up necessarily, but we want to share our craft with everyone out there. So if you're a craft brewer, if you're into craft beer, that's what's up, man. But I highly recommend you try some of these Belgian craft ales if you can find them. Like I said, I've never seen these in the States. I was able to bring them home from a recent trip, and now it is time to show you some of my craft singles. So, Alchemist came out with a series called Craft Singles, and in that series, Alchemist was working with guys like this track right here, Blue, featuring Killa Cali, Planet Asia, and Big Twins. This is the Palisades single, and on the B side is Cobb. So there's that right there. And then this one right here, this is MC8 and Spice 1, Any Means. And on the B side, it was called Supply. Now, I did not check if these are available online, but I remember when he put these out, they were limited edition. So this one right here is number 88 out of 500. And then you have this Schoolboy Q, Hoover Street. And on the B side is just the original version, instrumental. Now this one came out, I believe, 2 years ago. So this one was a 1,000, limited edition of 1,000. This is Hit Boy and the Alchemist, Slipping into Darkness. So you know that track, that one is available online. But you know, like when you're talking about craft beers and independent hip hop, they're one and the same thing. They're guys doing their craft at its finest and putting out good quality material, whether it's a beer or whether it's a record. So these are just a few right here that I have. He put out more, but these pair well with this beer right here. Now, when you look at the Mikkeller logo, you know, it's really cool. Very funny, kind of cartoonish guys right there. You know, it's all about your art, man. Like, how do you do your art? Is your art brewing beer? Are you a home brewer? Are you somebody that, like myself, who doesn't brew at all, but brews up beats? So with that being said, let's brew up a beat, man. I got the MPC sample right here. Now you're probably thinking, like, how do these things go together? Well, they do. Like I said, this right here is someone's work of art. It took them years to develop these recipes. Just like this, man. I've been playing with this MPC sample for a few weeks. I finally was able to cook up a beat, and I am going to share that with you right now. Now when it comes to craft beer, a lot of guys will brew at home. They will enter competitions and maybe you win some money. Maybe you just get props. And it's kind of like this music game, man. Sometimes you get a little money here and there from the music. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just have somebody hitting you up and giving you props. And we've all started at that point where it's just a craft. So that's what this episode is about. Now you might have seen these back on the shelf here. This one right here is the Alchemist Mixed Fruit Series. I got the pineapple ginger vinyl. Now this is something that he only released on wax. This is not available for streaming. So the reason I pulled these records out is because, you know, sometimes it's not about the masses hearing your music. And this video right now, it might only have 5-10 views, but I'm having fun doing it. I'm sipping some good beer, showcasing my record collection, and that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. Let me see if there's a serving temperature on this. I read this needs to be served chilled. So this right here is a little bit stronger. I can taste it. It's stronger than the typical lambic. Like if you get a Lindemans, you're talking about 2.5% to 3%. Now, once again, these are drinks that you can have after a meal. You can probably enjoy it with a meal, but I don't know. This does not pair good with food because it's so sour. The way I like to describe this is like a Sour Patch Kid, like a cherry Sour Patch Kid, but with less sugar. It's more of a natural tart cherry flavor. But once again, man, what's it really all about? This right here, as you can see, some of the records that I put behind me are records with kind of mosaic covers, because that's really what craft beer is all about. It's mixing and matching flavors that you think go good together. So this is the Lunch Meat by the Alchemist. This is a good one right there. And of course, we have a few behind me, man. Continuance by Currency and the Alchemist. As you see, my Alchemist collection is very thick and very heavy. And of course, this is an older record and it's still sealed. This is the Deltron 3030. I believe this is from 2001. So I pulled these out. I pulled these records out. There's a reason I pulled them out, just because they're kind of cover kind of match what this beer I'm drinking. Can you match beers with beats? Absolutely. We just did it on the show today, man. So once again, we got some fine selection. I will be pouring these up in my YouTube shorts. And if you are here only for the beer, I appreciate that, and cheers to you. If you are here for the beats, salute and thank you. And if you are here for the records, much respect to you. But I've managed to tie these three together and just have a good time, man. I'm bringing back the Belgian beer series on occasion because I think there's some people out there that enjoy this. And I'm basically doing it for those people that kind of like the vibe that I'm bringing to the YouTube building. I kind of want to sit here and just drink this with you guys. So hopefully you're watching this and you're pouring up a fine lambic, or maybe a pale ale, or maybe you got a Belgian triple. So I'm going to pour this up, man. We're going to finish this episode with one last pour. When I started doing these Belgian beer and beats episodes, I didn't think I would get past 2 episodes. There wasn't a lot of views. People don't really care about it. It's very niche. But then I got a message from somebody in Belgium saying, I love beats. I love beer. I like to see people drinking it and making beats. Then I got a message from my guy Ultra Mag. Yo, this is dope. Very original content. Of course, my boy Tim, he's been on a previous episode. We showcased some video games. I don't know where this series is going to take us, but as long as I get those 5 people that enjoy what I'm doing, I'm going to keep doing it, man. But I just want to tell y'all, please like, subscribe, and share it with your fam. And if you know a guy like myself who makes beats and is into Belgian beer, then he needs to watch this episode as we sip a very exclusive bottle of Fredriksdal Oude Kriek, 600-liter barrel finish. So this is finished in barrels, I believe wine barrels, I think. I'd have to check that out. All I know is that is the end of the bottle, meaning that is the end of this episode, man. So once again, thank you for joining me. We cooked up a beat, we showcased some craft singles, and we showcased some craft beer like only I can do. So if you find some craft beer that is Belgian, grab it. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. If you find some craft singles by The Alchemist, you will also not be disappointed. I promise you that. And this is your guy, DJ Real One. And this has been another episode of Belgian Beer and Beats. And on that note, we are out, y'all. Peace.